certified in August. It took forever.
Not an easy process.
Not an easy process, and sometimes I didn't think it was worth it, but some of the markets that I'm getting ready to sell to require it. So I started farming. I'm from Greenville. I lived in Raleigh. Came back about 10, 15 years ago. I lived in this house here. This is my great-granddad's house, and granddad, my mom was raised in the house next door, which I just bought today, back. Let's see, I just started, I've got a land development and environmental consulting firm. That's my main business, and I just started figuring if you live in the country, you might as well have a garden. And I had a garden here and over there, I had a little garage thing, and it just got a little bigger and bigger, and give business to my friends. And when friends started saying, when are you going to deliver my vegetables? Well, I'm not free anymore. They're for sale now. But I didn't know what it was. But I was using 7 dust. It's carbaryl. Real highly toxic chemical now that I found out. Everyone uses 7 dust. It kills worms, bugs, pretty much anything you think of. Well, I had done some collards and used 7 dust. And it got me sick as a dog. So I started, but yeah, I mean, not hospital or anything, but that's where I started. I investigated the pharmacology of carbaryl. And, well, I wouldn't want to bore you with it now. It's just a nasty chemical. And it's really a disgrace that of course, carbaryl will probably sue me now, but sorry. It's just there's some bad chemicals out there, and I don't think the public knows what. That sort of started me on my journey towards starting an organic farm. Carbaryl is just the tip of the iceberg. There's other chemicals, several chemicals that are.
And if it goes on the plant, I'm pretty sure it absorbs it.
Yeah, and the reason that I'm more of a hippie type farmer, I don't use hardly any pesticides, period. But for fertilizers, instead of using 10-10-10 like you get from Lowe's,
right,
we use compost, which is broken down leaves, leftovers from the garden.
Yeah,
and it breaks down into a real humus. It actually heats up to a really hot degree for several days, 100 and some degrees Fahrenheit, and it kills any of the bacteria. We're not spreading like manure or anything like that, although you can do that. But typically, have you heard of compost?
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's like brown, it's like 70% brown to 30% green. So we're doing that, and then we for fertilizers we're using natural things like compost. I spend as much money on my farm for cover crops. That's things like winter rye. So we're getting ready to plant rye and winter rye and crimson clover and something called dairy vest. And I'll show you some and then we'll cut it and plow it under. Crimson clover we use as fertilizer, so we don't have to buy fertilizer. It's a legume. It actually takes nitrogen out of the air and sort of puts it in the ground. So we don't have to use a whole lot of fertilizers in the traditional sense. But we use fertilizers, composted chicken manure and the other things. And pesticides, you're allowed to use natural pesticides, stuff that's made out of natural substances. We don't use very many pesticides. Probably the one thing that we do differently than most conventional farmers is we focus on the soil. Those cover crops that I was telling you about, we'll grow them and we'll just till them in. We won't even we'll cut them down and we'll till them in, and it builds up the organic matter in the soil. And over time, it makes the soil healthier. And to make a long story short, if bugs don't like a healthy. One of our cover crops we planted out at the end of the summer, and we like to have something growing. So really, most of this right here we're going to bush hog down and plant cover crop. So we either like to have a crop growing or have a cover crop. And a cover crop can be used to sort of choke out weeds or to build up nitrogen in the soil or just build up organic matter in the soil. And so we'll till this in probably like February or probably like March, and it'll just add like adding leaves to your soil. It's just makes your soil real rich. So we grow seeds in there, little seedlings, and we'll take them out of there, and then we'll plant them out in the field. And this little pump house over there, we irrigate with a well. Crop over here, and we'll just walk back there. And this is pretty much just to get transplants to plant out in the field. But that's tomatillos and some eggplants, and this is in peck. This is sort of some people call it salad, but it's not really salad. You know what I mean? That's what that is.
It's called henpeck?
Yeah. People were saying, I want some salad.
Yeah.
That's like salad. You mean like lettuce? No, salad.
Salad green.
A lot of times it's salad, like S-A-L-A-T. I was like, what is that? I found out what it is. It's this right here. It's got kind of a spicy taste to it.
Is yours
what it is mustard.
Yeah. Is yours a mixture of this right here?
It's kind of bitter, isn't it?
You want to try some? You want some?
Let's try it like it is.
I've got my own mix. It's called mesclun mix, and I'll mix in. That's red. This is red russet kale. This is a certain type of lettuce.
It's better with a mix to me than it is straight.
That's a kale called ripboard kale. Let's see. That's another type of kale. That's a type of mustard that's real spicy. You think that's spicy? Taste that?
This is spicier than that?
Yeah.
And what is it called?
I can't remember the variety of mustard, but I'll make my own. This is
not spicy.
There is another. This is called tatsoi. And over here is arugula. Anyone ever heard of arugula?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah, I haven't tried it. It's good.
It's spicy.
I have heard of it, and I've seen them use it on TV. So.
Rachel, right?
Yeah, right. She cooks with that a lot.
Yeah. What else? This is dinosaur kale, but it's small stuff. If you can imagine that leaf, that sort of rippled looking leaf, about the size of a collard. It's one of the most nutritious vegetables, period.
And what is it called?
Kale.
Dinosaur.
Kale, okay.
Kale is.
It's kind of real leafy on the outside, right?
It is. My gift to you. Now that we're certified organic, we got some red okra. Typically, okra you see is tender only when it's like that big.
Right.
Red burgundy okra is tender when it's that long. You don't have to pick it every day. So you pick a whole bucket of okra with that long, it take you 3 hours. Whereas if you pick red burgundy okra that's that long, it's still just as tender as a small one. So it weighs more and it tastes better.